Yeah, we spoke yesterday, and he mentioned this to me and said, "Should we do this together?" And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely, we'll do it together." Yeah,
Very cool. I'm glad you were available, and especially because of the fact too that it's kind of an important day for you guys with something dropping.
yes.
I mean, sometimes you drop stuff and it's a bad thing, but I think this is a good thing, though.
Well, most of the stuff I drop is bad, so because
I don't drop it, I throw it away.
oh yeah, well we could do that too. Yeah,
Right. Or at least that's the hope anyway.
Oh, this is great to do this, and it has been quite a journey. I'm sure Paul and I will take you through a chunk of it. But yeah, this is a really nice day to actually get a couple of new tracks released after all these years.
I was going to say, yeah, it looks like it's been just a little bit of time.
Well, yeah, 1,000 years.
Paul,
here he is. Here's the man.
Good evening.
There Hello. He is.
Hey man.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Good. I've got to say thank you guys both so much for putting some time aside for us today. This is totally awesome.
There we are. Got you on camera.
That's cool. That's cool. As I heard you say, it's a special day for us. So we're more than happy to do it.
Cool. So what is happening today?
35 years, is it, Paul?
Well, since the last record. Today marks the day that we released Vibrate Generate, which is the last Reflex song we recorded.
Okay.
Really, as a band.
Okay.
And is something that's been in the pipeline for about 10 years.
Wow.
Since we recorded it.
Wow. Yeah. Boy, this one didn't just come right out of the hatch then, did it? I mean, it like took a little while to hit us.
It just took some
yeah, well, that's because it's the reason. I don't know if you're aware of the reason we decided to record this track was because of Roly, who was our drummer in the band and also a very close friend of ours. And unfortunately, he was around that time, which is 2011, he was diagnosed with a brain tumor. And on his recovery, as he was about to recover, we decided to record one more song because he wanted to kind of get back into playing music again, but couldn't because he no longer could play the drums. You know, he'd had a few operations and that kind of messed him up. And we decided that he said, like, he was still really into music. Because whenever I saw him, he talked about music all the time. And then he said, well, he was brilliant at programming music, programming drums, and he'd done a lot of work on other people's records. And I said, well, you could still do that. But the problem was, he said, well, what's it for? And that was really the thing that motivated us to say, well, we'll record one more track, which we did. And it's a great track. But the trouble was, we didn't expect him to die when we finished it. And when he died, we just couldn't bring ourselves to release it.
Totally understandable. Wow.
And let alone think about how would we promote it after that. It was kind of made with the expectation that he was going to still be alive. But fortunately, he did get to hear it before he died. Or at least he got to hear the version that we mixed in LA at the time.
That's awesome.
Because when we recorded it, Bax and I decided that we wanted to get a few people to try and mix it. A few people that have been involved with us from the beginning. And one of them was a producer called Nick Launay, who's really quite respected these days and established as a kind of few people that have been involved with us from the beginning, and one of them was a producer called Nick Launay, who's really quite respected these days and established as a kind of, he's just produced loads of people.
Okay.
You know, from Nick Cave to In Excess to what else was he? I heard
Reflex.
Nick, well, early Reflex, but I mean, I heard that Nick produced worked on was it Kate Bush's Running Up the Hill.
He did,
yeah. He did Running Up the Hill with her. Do you remember do you remember the meeting that when we were met with Tony, right? When we were around at Tony's flat and she was on the phone, that's what they were talking about.
Oh, they're talking with Kate?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was our first manager who, and while we were there, Nick was with us. And he was just running off to go and talk to Kate Bush at the time to try and arrange recording Running Up the Hill.
That's pretty big stuff.
Which is a really big record at the moment.
Can you believe that? They're 40 years after its release, and it is like one of the most played songs online. I saw those statistics last week, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, just through the roof. Good way to go, Kate Bush.
Listen to it. It sounds like today.
What's that?
Do it, and it sounds just like today.
Oh, yeah. Amazing. You know what I should probably do? I should probably let everybody know who it is that we're hanging out with for a little while today. That might not be a bad idea. So if it's all right, let me do that, and we'll get this interview underway. And by the way, I have a tendency to overtalk my guests, and don't let me do that.
All right.
I've got a buzzer over here actually, and I should probably use that on myself, and it does actually work, so I can, but it doesn't turn off, unfortunately.
Okay.
All right. Hey everybody, you're watching the Groove Zone Networks. I totally forgot what I was going to say. Hey, you're watching the Groove Zone Networks, the sessions with DJ D Phoenix, coming to you out of Tacoma, Washington today. And with me here today, we are hanging with two members of Reflex. The Politics of Dancing would be the one that probably most of you are familiar with. I'm hanging out with both John and Paul today. John and Paul, actually, that's half of one of the greatest songwriting teams of all time. There's something to that, maybe. Anyway, good morning, guys. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. And Paul?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Now,
I'm all right.
Can I?
It's a hot day in London today. It's probably nothing compared to what you guys are in, but it's a hot day in London today.
Oh, it's raining here right now.
It's Washington rain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Is it?
where are you in Washington?
I'm about 2 miles from the military base here, Joint Base Lewis McChord, Tacoma, which is just south of Seattle. So, yeah, I'm close enough to the big city.
We've got heat here today.
Really? Send it over.
You don't want it.
No, it's one of those.
One of those, yeah.
Now, you guys are both, where are you guys both located at?
I'm in Studio City in Los Angeles.
Oh, you are? Okay, so we're on the same time frame. And then Paul, what about you?
I'm in London.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Getting to hang with Paul and John today, and totally stoked. So today is Vibrate Generate. Did I get that right? I was gonna say it's right. It's Generate Vibrate. It's the dropping of
Vibrate.
10 years in the making. That's awesome. Now there's also something happening on the 24th, I understand.
So cool.
Well, yeah. What's happening is that, so the story is this, really. There's a double CD album being released which is called Vibrate Generate.
Hey, DJ Dinosaur. Hi, Sean. This is Saffron from Republica. Thank you so much from the UK for playing my song Ready to Go. DJ Phoenix Darren, I'm doing an interview with him, and he's told me that you used my song for your anthem. Thank you so much.
Right.
Awesome.
And that, apart from the title song, It features loads of remixes of our best kind of known tracks, and including The Politics of Dancing. And there are remixes that we've done, that therefore Bax and I have done, since we decided we would. What happened was the record company. They released a double CD of a special version of The Politics of Dancing about 2 years ago, a company called Cherry Red. And it included all of the B-sides and all the 12 inches and stuff that was recorded while we were signed to EMI.
Okay.
And then they came back to me about a year ago and said, is there anything else? And I said, well, there is this track. And it's not just any old track. It's possibly, we think it's, you know, one of our best. But it's significant because it's the last one we've kind of worked on as a band. And it's got this history. So they said to us, well, what would you want to do? So I said, well, the only way I could do it is if we got hold of the multi-tracks, not just let's just mess around with the existing mixes, but get hold of the multi-tracks and have them transferred and then just do some new mixes now based on either things like just exploring the tracks again, which was really interesting, but also having more time, particularly as far as some of the last things that we recorded, which were for an album that we made called Jamming the Broadcast.
Right.
And that album has lots of stuff that was recorded. It was recorded in a special way. It was recorded at my home, my flat, my studio that I had then. And it was us exploring how to record. Yeah, it was tiny. But it was us exploring how to record away from the recording studio, right? And it was really the first development of digital recording. So we were exploring that and using different ways of recording. But we didn't get enough time to finish the mixes, I felt, for some reason, and partially down to the fact that some of the stuff was being completed for the Superman film that I was writing.
Right. So Paul, what years are we talking?
What years?
This is around, 85, I suppose, 85, 86, all this happened.
Okay.
It was whenever the Superman film was.
And it was Superman 4 or something for Peace or something like that.
Yeah.
One of those films.
It was one of the following Superman films, unfortunately not a great one.
Go figure.
It's not I don't make the films.
And I don't remember who the villain was, but I think it was like Richard Pryor or something like that.
I can't remember. I can't remember.
I don't know, but now I want to watch the movie. John, now I'm catching you right before you take your sip of coffee or tea or whatever it is that you're drinking.
I'm listening. Coffee, actually. Yeah.
Okay. You're in America, obviously.
Americans do. Let's all be crazy.
Oh my gosh. Well, have you ever been up through? Did Reflex tour through Seattle?
I
don't believe we did. No, I don't.
I think we did.
Paul says yes, and you say no.
We did 2 major tours of America.
I think I left my brain somewhere. I don't.
No, I'm sure we played around Washington.
Okay, I would think
Definitely.
so. We're usually one of the stops.
Definitely. Well, we did, as I said, we did 2 big tours.
We played there.
I think we didn't. Bax, wasn't that part of the first tour that we did with the Police?
I believe it was.
I think we played Seattle with them. I'm fairly sure we did.
John, that's what I hear. About that.
It's a long time ago. It's hard to tell.
The time I got flu and fell over on stage, that was that time, wasn't it?
It probably was. Totally forgot.
Yeah.
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 Kind of shows it was Lollapalooza too.
I love it that you just try to make an excuse for my brain.
Hey, whatever it takes, you know.
So there you go. Yes, we played in Seattle. Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. And not that there was any reason that I was wondering, but when you mentioned that about the rain in Washington, it sounded like it was from somebody with experience.
It's my girlfriend is from that area. She's from Seattle. So
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, hello to her, my co-Washingtonian. And Paul, what area in England are you?
I live in North London, which is in a place called Highgate, which is
okay.
It's a nice part of London. Really.
Nice. And it looks like you're in your studio, correct?
I am.
Okay.
I am. Where I spend most of my life.
We both are.
I was going to say, now that I'm looking at your backdrop, John, I see that too. Okay. Gotcha. Well, I'm in mine. I just don't have any, I've got a microphone.
Yeah.
That's what I've got.
So
so Vibrate Generate. So totally stoked about this. For the fact that not only does it have so much history behind it, but that it is the first release in some time. But the sound of it, though, where is it available to listeners at right now that it's dropped?
It's available on all digital platforms. I just checked. It's on Spotify. You can stream it from there. You can get it from iTunes, Amazon. It should be on all the streaming platforms.
Spotify. I know where I'm getting my copy of it then.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's available, and then next week it will be the whole album will be digitally available. Apart from just the CD, you can listen to it online next week.
So, are there other tracks then that you guys have done recently that are on this one? Then
Yeah. What happened was that when we started working on it, I said to Bax, come on, because lots of people, unlike myself, Bax hasn't released anything for a while. And I just said, come on, let's do this, right? Let's do this. And
what was that?
And with a bit of encouragement, I must say, eventually.
John, I can barely hear you, actually.
All right, shut up, Paul.
There we go.
He basically told me to get my head out of my ass and find something, and so I ended up pulling up this track, "Human" it's called, and Paul got involved with that too. So it was kind of a half reflex effort.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's an additional new song on there too. So there are 2 new songs.
Nice. So does that mean that is there any possibility that you guys are going to and you wouldn't even have to do much more new material, if any at all, because you've got such a strong catalog as it is. But I'm wondering, is there any plans for touring? You guys thinking about hitting the road at all, or?
Well,
no,
no, that ain't happening.
Well,
well, it's not for me. My time at the moment, I prefer to kind of spend it kind of making music rather than touring or something like that.
Right.
I can be far more productive in my studio, and I have been over the last couple of years since I've started releasing records again.
Hi, everybody. Fee Waybill here, and you're listening to Neo Retro from Olympia. Enjoy.
I've been over the last couple of years since I've started releasing records again and making videos. That's a better use of my time rather than playing gigs. I thought about before. I mean, a few years ago, I'm not you, Bax, but a few years ago, I did actually consider performing live again. But just the concept of it is just.
Oh, there's so much more involved. I mean, you say you're going to tour, but there's so much involved.
It's a lot of work to get there. If something appeared, you never know. There's let's never say never. Just never
Right.
say.
Right.
It's not at the top of the list of, oh yeah, let's go and do this. But I would never say never at this point.
Well, and especially these days, it's like everything has changed so much, especially in the music industry. I know that there are concerts happening again and all that, and that's great, but the dynamics are so completely different than they were 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
So many reasons for that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Least of all COVID, but
and that is such a big ball of wax that we could get into if we wanted to, but we don't have to. Hey, before I forget, I would like to know, may I please get a couple of plugs from you guys for the network? Would you mind? Yeah. Okay. The only thing I need you to remember is the Groove Zone. The Groove Zone.
The Groove Zone.
And if you want my moniker, it's DJ D Phoenix.
Well, let me write that down because
please. And I'm sorry, I could have written it on a little 3x5 and hold.
Okay, what do you want us to say?
What's
this
that?
Is Paul Fish. Hang on, just give me a break. This is Paul Fishman from Reflex. You're listening to DJ Phoenix on the Groove Zone.
Just like that.
Okay.
Just like that, Paul.
Well, that's just exactly how I did it.
And that's exactly how I'll take it. If that's what you give it to me, I'll take it.
Got it then. Right.
Go on.
Max, you want to try one?
Yeah. Sure.
It's all you, mister.
Hello, this is Baxter from Reflex. You're with DJ Phoenix on the Groove Zone.
Rock and roll.
What a professional.
Rock and roll.
Awesome. I am, like I was telling Bax when we first hopped on here. This is what?
Can I do that again?
Yes, would you please?
Yeah, just one.
You do it as many times as you want.
Just one minute, though. Just one more.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I just need to get some expletives in there. Hello, this is Baxter from Reflex. You're with DJ Phoenix on the Groove Zone. Keep in touch. There you go.
Thank you.
What a professional.
Oh my gosh. That is knocking everybody out of the water.
Max, this could be a future career, man. So,
well, I could do the deep voice, but I don't think you really want that.
Hey, I just appreciate it regardless. So, so one thing that I do with my guests is that we do talk about the music, obviously, because that's, one of the reasons why I approach everyone is because of the music that you guys have given the world. And I don't know what it is, but it's the very beginning sound of the politics of dancing. There's just something about that captures such an incredible moment in music from the early 80s. And it totally transports the listener, at least for me anyway, because we had a radio station up in our area, KYYX, that played you guys. And just automatically though, it's like, I just think about such an incredible time in music. That is compared to today. What are some of the observations that you guys have? I mean, because obviously the sound has changed a lot for you guys too over the years.
Production has changed. Production of popular music and popular music has changed. And may I say, not, in my view, necessarily for the better.
Yeah.
And that's because I'm a great lover of songs, really, and it's songs that people remember. The tune. And I'm not sure if there's enough of that really going down. I mean, it's very difficult to whistle some spoken word or rap song, And unless it's got, and generally that's why they have kind of like, you know, big choruses or something to support that. But
a lot of filler.
What?
A lot of filler.
Well,
in today's music, anyway.
Maybe. Yeah. That doesn't mean that I don't think there isn't good music happening. There always is, but it's just how it's accessed, and maybe there's less. I find less interesting things in a lot of current popular music. I think it's to do with them being manufactured. You know,
with that,
when you get into a thing where so many people are contributing to either a writing or producing a song, you don't have any identity left of the artist, and that in many ways is a really bad thing.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, because there are a lot of artists that totally disappear into nothingness after their, you know, couple of hit singles for, you know, however many they've got to come out. The music industry still is a ferocious beast in the sense that it'll chew you up and spit you out, and if you don't have something more to your core, I think
there are still plenty of artists like Billie Eilish and people like that out there that are you know, digging the depths of trueness in their own music and still entertaining the living shit out of us. But there are plenty of other artists that are, it's almost like you know, an Apple loop fest, which isn't, to me, is, I mean, I know people can be very, very clever with this stuff, but as Paul said, and I agree with Paul on this wholeheartedly, it's about songs. They're the things that people remember, and if they have that groove and that I suppose message, you know, it doesn't have to be a massive message, save the world or anything stupid like that.
Right.
As long as it's got all of those things, you know, then we're entertained by it. But then again, there's a lot of this that is now our time, you know, back in the 80s and going onwards. And the kids that are doing it now, it's not that all of them are out of sorts. They actually have something to say. They're saying it in a different way, and you have to give them respect for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But by the same token, you know, even in our day, there's a lot of shit.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's no other way of saying that. There was.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
And there still is stuff that you walk away from, you know, even if you don't want to call it bad names.
The world's a lot more jaded now, though, too. I think, you know, it's like harsher audience for sure, to a degree. You know, it's like, but look, and part of that is just technology in itself. You know, it's like you can see what somebody on the other side of the world looks like, you know, in a millisecond now, as compared to how did we used to do that?
We're waiting for the Polaroid to
arrive in the mail. Yes, the mail. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Now listen, I know that I don't have you guys for a terribly long time today. So I want to hit on a couple of things, and anytime that you guys have something else happening and would like to step back through the door with me for a second round, I totally am down for that. That's one thing with my guests. I always have an open door policy after the first time. If you guys are brave enough to come back for a second, totally welcome to. I do want to get a couple of questions in that I do ask all my guests as well. I make it sound like I'm Dracula or something. I don't know why I'm doing that. We do this podcast. John, you might at least be a little bit more aware of the fact, being in America, how weird some of our country is. I just found out this last week. No, it hasn't happened. No,
I haven't noticed.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, just up the coast from you a little ways.
Don't get me started.
Oh no, that's exactly what I'm trying to do, is to get you see, and good timing too, because I just got our 10-minute mark. So That was good thinking on our part. I just found out this last week, Washington State, where I'm at, is by far, because of the amount of incidents per capita, by far the most supernatural state in the nation. Oddly enough, go figure. And as I'm sitting here talking with you, I'm looking out the window and I see Mount Rainier.
Right.
Okay. So I don't know if you know where I'm going with this, but I want to take it one at a time. So Paul, I'd like to start with you. Has there ever been a point in time in your life, on your travels, journeys, whatever, that you've looked up and seen anything in the sky that either concerned you, you couldn't explain, or you just weren't sure exactly what it was that you were looking at, without coming right out and saying it?
What, something unexplained? Is that what you refer to?
I could be talking about, craft. Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Craft.
Aerial phenomenon. I'll just put it that way. How's that?
Phenomenon.
No.
I've got you haven't?
No.
I've got my tin outfit in back. If you want me to go put it on, I will.
Right.
And it comes complete with a tin hat.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Oh yeah.
Well, that was okay. That was a cut and dried answer then. So thank you. John, how about you? Anything that you've ever looked up and couldn't quite explain?
There have been visual things. There have been audio things. I mean, not a great whack of them, but I have seen things in the sky and taken a double take, and
right,
and often wondered what the hell is going on here. But it's not just here. I mean, I lived in England for half of my life, and there were things odd there. So there's probably a handful of things that have happened throughout my life where I've been in total wonderment mode. It's like, what on earth? How did that? Where did that? Who is that? How is that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I simultaneously, it's like when you see something that your mind can't quite make out. Yeah, it is. I've only ever had 2 experiences. So
what were they?
Were they? I was taking a board one.
You were what?
Well, that explains the thing that's sticking out the side of your head. That only
doesn't it? Well,
certain people can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an obvious sign, unfortunately. And that doesn't even explain the mark on the back of my neck that lights up on different occasions. So,
but apart from that, what were the 2 experiences?
One was a sighting out of a airline or an airliner on the way back from the Midwest this past fall, and the other one was a sighting from a backyard in just about 30 miles south of here, and this was back in 2000.
Cool. My name's Rossborough, and you're listening to The Groove Zone. Ow.
Yes, you are, and thank you very much. South of here, and this was back in 2006.
So tell me about the last one. What happened? You're on a plane.
In the plane, object going the opposite direction, no wings, and looking an awful lot like the military Tic Tac videos.
Oh.
So I actually reported it.
Great.
Yeah.
Did you hear anything back?
Yes, I did. And we are actually still in the process of looking into it.
Okay.
So, unidentified or whatever, I'm not sure. But, with that being said, thank you for humoring me with that question, if nothing else. We are on the downhill now as far as time goes. I would like to know, is there anything that you would like to both of you pass off onto the people watching and listening today?
Cool.
Just go and listen to Vibrate Generate. Yeah. Just go and listen to it. It's a great record. And next week there'll be a video released, a new video that we've made for it.
I'm excited about. And the video features you guys, correct?
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah.
We did this video with obviously Paul and I. We used our very first bass player, a man called Francois Craig.
Okay.
And we used Rowley's son to play drums.
I just read something about that. That is amazing.
Yeah, which was a
cool. It's really cool.
Lovely thing to work out. And you know, Rowley's somewhere in it. Rowley's wife's somewhere in it.
Really?
That's right.
Nigel's somewhere in it.
Okay.
There's all sorts of stuff in there. We did it green screen stuff back from here to London because obviously there wasn't any visiting and all that stuff. And Paul worked his butt off putting this all together, doing all of the edits, doing all of the sync, and doing all of the after work with clearance and all the rest of this. He put an enormous amount of work into this. So thanks, Paul.
Awesome. I'm so totally stoked. And viewers there again, if you didn't catch that, everything will drop this next it's next Friday the 24th, correct?
Today.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But the single's out now, so go and check it out. Go and listen to the audio.
As soon as this is over, I'm gonna play it and then replay it.
I think you should.
Same as Stardust and the Spiders from Mars album, where on the back it says "Play it loud."
Okay. Yeah.
Play it loud.
Awesome. What an amazing story just behind this one track that's now available. Totally stoked about that. John, any words that you would like to pass off onto a listener or viewer today?
I would love people to be as excited about this as we are. Obviously.
John, any words that you would like to pass off onto a listener or viewer today?
I would love people to be as excited about this as we are. Obviously entirely up to them, but I'd love them to get their heads around this and enjoy the shit out of this. It's great fun. And
it's a really good album. You know, it's a really good album, and it's a compilation of almost like a ultimate reflex.
Yeah, there's a
lot
of great stuff on there, and
there's a lot of great songs on there. You know,
a total of about how many tracks would you say? Or ballpark anyway.
24.
Nice.
Yes, something like that.
Around there, yeah.
Oh, so it's a decent sized club. So stoked, gentlemen. Thank you for the music.
You're welcome.
You guys, I mean, like, you know, and that's just it. I mean, there again, Politics of Dancing. For anybody that was, you know, from that time frame, it's totally established itself as a landmark track, right. You know, composition that, you know, has held on all these years and still holds up as if it were only you know, yesterday. Amazing.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, and we hope people will feel the same about Vibrate Generate.
Well, we're going to promote the crap out of it is what we're going to do.
Please do, and the other remixes, because they're really good. I mean, you know, it just sounds cool.
We just added Reflex to our Spotify playlist for listeners, so totally stoked about that. What a nice addition.
Right. That's lovely. Thank you very much.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you again. It's totally been a nice a few moments with you guys. And like I said, you ever want to or available ever again, please hit me up or we'll stay in contact. And I'd love to have you guys back with us.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Paul, get some rest in there, my friend. Working yourself into a thither. Awesome. John, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Have yourselves a great day.
Yeah.
All right.
See ya.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, guys. So that was.
If you want to.
Experience the new alternative.
Get ready